11:30 and I've made it to Greymouth, which is not bad at all. I get some fuel and then go down to Shantyton and see there, and then come back up and make my way towards Farewell Spit, see how far I get. I'm just trying to make up some time today, cover some distance, see if I can gain back a bit rather than making this a 2-day trip, do it in a day. So how the other day I was saying how old school like the buildings look. They definitely look back there, and then this, like, yeah, it's like proper old school. I think I need to turn around and look for petrol station. So this is the entrance to Shantytown. It's going to be a heritage town, or heritage park. So it takes around an hour, hour and a half to walk around it, and it costs $33. And because of the fact that I've lost time on the way that I'm trying to make it up today, and the fact that I've done, like, obviously had my panniers broken, had to fix them, and the helicopter trip and everything else, I'd rather spend the money on fuel and travelling distances and seeing New Zealand rather than seeing Shantytown, unfortunately. So let's get back on the bike, carry on towards Westport and up towards Nelson, where I'll probably just before Nelson or somewhere around there find a campsite to stay the night. So yeah, let's crack on. People are always asking me about this like spot tracker. I don't know if you can see it in the mirror. Everywhere I go, because it's on my shoulder when I walk into places, because I don't take my camelback off, everyone says, oh, what's that? And I have to explain to them, oh, it's just tracking, and people thought it's my family and blah 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 blah. Some people look at you like you should wrap yourself in tin foil because the aliens and the government are going to hunt you down and find and kill you. And some people are like, oh, that's a really clever idea. The lady in Shantytown reception, she just said, well, that's a really good idea, because apparently there was a guy that was that took his bike and went on into the bush, and he sort of slipped either off the road or off the gravel track, I don't know which one, but he basically rode off the road like almost straight on, so he didn't really cause any damage to the bush as he went through or anything, and he died on impact and got wedged between two trees, but they couldn't find him, and they searched for him, and they got a helicopter out, and they looked for him and looked for him and looked for him for ages, and 7 years later there was a bit of a landslide or something, and it created a bit of a clearing, and then they found him still sat on his bike with his helmet on and everything. It's just a skeleton where he'd stopped. So it's kind of good that I've got this, really, isn't it? Because not that I hope that anything like that ever happens, but I don't want to come off, really. But at least it gives me the satisfaction that if anything was to happen, people know where I am pretty quickly. If I'm like, it's not going to take 7 years, you know. Someone doesn't speak to me for a few days and realise something's going wrong, they'll obviously look at my tracker and go, well, he's there, let's go find him, let's go get him. But then, of course, if I get really stuck, I can flick this little switch over and push the SOS button, and that sends help immediately. Well, it sends the signal off pretty quickly, and then it depends how far away I am from civilization. But in New Zealand, I guess I get it quite quick, considering you can ride across the width of the country in a morning. I think what would have been interesting about Shantytown, even though I didn't actually make it in there, but by the looks of sort of the pictures, it's almost very much like some of the New Zealand rural towns. The buildings are almost exactly the same. The difference is there that it's got far more history attached to it. It's more like a living museum. All the actors are in dress up. I mean, even the receptionist was dressed for the time. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. But as we get into Greymouth, and I ride through Greymouth, you'll see the buildings are still pretty much just as western as that shantytown, I guess. You see, this is like that hotel, although it's obviously run down, and this, it's all kind of like quite old school. Like you could just, if you removed all those sort of things, it'd just be. Let's go this way. I just think these are all quite old school buildings. Maybe not count down a warehouse. Well, that one's pretty well, made to look old. Old bridge that's not there anymore. Look at this. Just go around the corner and boom! The sea. And an epic little road next to it. Pretty cool. This road is bloody good. Bit windy. But the view's cool and the road's good. Hello. Just do your own sound effects. It's the law. Well, now I get to watch the waves. Nope. Yeah, road's gone. Road's gone completely. Well, this shows how abrasive the sea can be, doesn't it? You can see the sea smashing against the rocks, and you can see where it's all washed away the road as well. I was amazed by it the first time I see it. Now I'm kind of like, oh, another one. Another bit of road that's not meant, that's gone. It's pretty epic as well. I look at those sort of rocks and I just think Simba. Like, Simba. Good old Pride Rock. I love that side. Caution penguins, 5k. Run into pig do as I'm going along. Come on, get out. Ooh, an arch, that's cool. Vents open. Yes. Have a look at the damage on the beach and on the other side of the road. Looks all a bit battered. I wonder whether this is from all from the cyclone the other week, because the further north got it much worse than south. In fact, in Queenstown, it just sort of scraped us really. So for all this crap everywhere. All that damage back there. Maybe the road's falling in. I'm guessing it's all from the other week. Scary. New Zealand, a beautiful country that destroys itself. Mother Nature is determined to destroy it. And it's one of probably the world's most beautiful countries. Oh, State Highway 6 from Westport up towards Nelson. What a road. I'm on it now. I'm not quite at Nelson or anywhere near there yet, but I'm going to be camping somewhere along the way. But the road is just awesome. Thoroughly enjoying myself, and I've not really had too many tourists to have to battle with either, which is making the road even better because I can just flow through it. So yeah. My big day of riding, I've managed to, looking at what I had planned, I was going to stay in Greymouth, I was going to stay, or near Greymouth, I was going to stay near Westport. So I've actually, the amount of Ks I'm doing, I've made up a fair bit of time, which is really cool. I mean, I've not seen so many things, but it does give me time to relax, and I do have a fair bit to do on the sort of southern North Island. So yeah, I'm just loving this road. Well, this is going to die, so let's turn it off. Because I was pushing on so much today, I forgot to record any more. At the end of the day, I stayed at a campsite between Stanley Brook and Woodstock. And now I'll leave you with a few photos I took today.